upsets all over the place in the NCAA tournament. Virginia was on the wrong side of history on Friday night when they became the first #1 seed ever to lose in the first round. Xavier, North Carolina, Cincinnati, and Michigan State were also upset this weekend. For the first time since 2004, multiple #1 seeds failed to make it to the Sweet 16. Shannon, how do you explain all the upsets?
These are teenagers on a big stage. And if you look at it, Skip, a lot of these prominent programs, their best players, they're one and done. They're two and done max. Most of these teams that upset these teams, they're juniors and senior led. And the days of we seeing the Georgetown go to 3 straight Final Four, that's over, Skip, because the players were staying longer. It's hard to build a program when you get into Kentucky, one and done. You know, if you go to Kentucky, their starting 5, Skip, they're gone. Duke starting 5, they're gone. They got a senior in Grayson Allen. But for the most part,
Cal's doing a pretty good job once again of molding those 5 kids into something's pretty good.
And it's laid out for he's going to probably have to be a 13 or 16 or 12 to get to the Final Four. But that's what happens, Skip. These Power 5 teams, they have got most of their best players are freshmen. And you're asking an awful lot. And this is what we love about it, Skip, because now we get an opportunity to see. My team was never going to play North Carolina or Duke or Kentucky in the regular season. But in this, when they don't know really a whole lot about us, I know you watch tape, but you're not paying attention to UMBC. As a matter of fact, our wardrobe's Autumn. She said, take them over Virginia. I said, give me the sheet. You don't know what you're talking about.
Way to go, Autumn.
Autumn McGillicuddy. That's her name.
History.
Yeah, she's making history.
Wow.
But anyway, I told her to get my sheet because she didn't know what she was talking about. And that was the only thing she got right. But anyway, Skip, when you're dealing with young men, Skip, teenagers, anything can happen. You know this. And that's why we love March Madness. That's why they call it March Madness. Because on any given Thursday or Friday, any given Saturday or Sunday, the unknown can happen. And we see it over and over. And you're going to start seeing it more and more. You might see it even more, Skip, because guess what? If they change this rule that the best college freshman is not going to even come, hey, you're going to get it. You're going to get it right upside the head. I like it. I was upset. Carolina lost. You know I'm a Tar Heel fan. And you know what made it even worse? Roger Federer had 3 match points on his racket against Del Potro, and he lost.
So? What does that have to do with this?
Because it was a bad day for me yesterday. That's why I was hungover. I knew something like this was going to happen. That's why I was hungover from Saturday.
You don't even drink.
I'd had some Jameson. LeBron James. Oh, my bad. Yeah.
You were hungover on water?
No.
Water?
Don't worry about it, Skip Davis. I was disappointed that my team lost. Your team lost. Your team didn't even make it.
Who's my team?
Vanderbilt's your team. Yeah, exactly.
They had a bad year.
Bad history.
So, you're right. It becomes parity, hilarity. That's what it is. I have always loved March Madness. I've never been able to pick March Madness because my golden rule has always been the more you know about college basketball, the worse your picks will be.
You're exactly right.
And yet, as much as I love watching these games, I watched all weekend, I accept it for what it is. It's unfair what they do. It's wildly exciting for all the wrong reasons because the format is wildly unfair. Because you throw 2 teams together, do or die. It's not a 7-game series. This is it. One or done. And they throw them together in Boise, Idaho, or Wichita, Kansas. And the starting times can be from late morning to real late at night.
Correct.
And the shooting backgrounds in the weird arena could be not to your liking.
Yeah.
And the refs you've never seen before. And the games are too short for me because I like the length of an NBA game. These are 40 minutes versus 48, and they're over in a blink. It's like I look up and I say, wait, there's only 4 minutes left in the game? It's like it's gone, and 5 fouls to 6 fouls is a huge difference because inevitably some star on one of these college, the top-rated teams gets in foul trouble because if you get 2 fouls in a college game,
you out the first half,
and now you're in trouble. Yeah. You're going to be in trouble the whole game, and
that's what happened to Carolina. Luke May picked up the early foul, and he had to go to the bench. And
the reffing can be very amateurish, where you're just saying, what was that? And it can degenerate. Most of these games degenerate into a 3-point shooting contest. So I can just show you the numbers.
Yes.
So Friday night against Virginia, UMBC. I had to look up what it stood for because I didn't even know. I'm sorry. I didn't know. But they make 12 of 24 threes. That's 50%.
Yeah.
That will work. Meanwhile, Virginia makes 6 of 22. That's 27%. That will not work.
Right.
So on the biggest stage, biggest moment, you just gag.
I think the thing is,
All won't fall.
we're used to seeing upsets, 1 point, buzzer beaters. But the #1 overall seed get beat by 20.
Never seen
The
it.
#2, Carolina, get beat by 20.
Okay.
That's what we're not used to
And look
seeing.
at this. Buffalo beat Arizona, the team I picked to win it all, by 21. They made 15 of 33s. Meanwhile, Arizona made 7 of 31. That's 23%. Well, you're going to lose, and you're going to lose by 20.
And Arizona has what many think is the #1 overall pick in DeAndre Ayton. But it just goes to show you, one team gets hot, Skip, and there's nothing you can do.
Yesterday, Texas A&M makes 10 of 24 threes. That's 42%. Your guys, Carolina, made 6 of 31. That's 19%. You're going to lose.
You're going to lose.
You're just going to lose. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And even Syracuse, Michigan State. So a lot of people have a trendy pick to make it to the Final Four, Michigan State. And they go 8 of 37 from 3. That's 22%. And Miles Bridges, I've never been the biggest fan of his as an NBA player, but he shoots 3 for 12 from 3, and he had a couple late looks that looked like good looks.
He missed a point-blank layup.
No, he did.
Yeah, but I've never seen anything like the Michigan State. They out-rebounded Syracuse by like 29, and they lose. When was the last time I've never heard of a team out-rebounding another team by 29 and losing a ball game.
I don't know. Make shots, they make free throws.
But that's the skill. When you get all these teams, somebody knows either they went there or their friends went to that school.
Yep.
So everybody can embrace it. So it's not like I don't really care, because when it comes to like football, I don't really care who wins.
Yep.
I'm just who you for.
I agree.
But in this, somebody can embrace it.
So Michigan survived and won a game against Houston. And Kelvin
the dude
Sampson.
was fouled too.
Yeah. Well, but they had no business winning this game. So their backcourt player, Charles Matthews, who's a third-year player, he fouls out. So you have to throw in a freshman named Jordan Poole, who didn't start a single game all year, who went 0 for 9 from 3 during the Big Ten tournament, and he winds up with the ball in his hand, and it's like an NBA 3.
Yeah.
And he just rips it as clean as you could rip it, and the game's over. And he's like, what did I just do?
Right.
I'm convinced a lot of these kids grow up watching March Madness, and every year we see so many buzzer beaters, it gets instilled in you. This is what happens.
Right.
Like it's like
supposed to happen.
Self-fulfilling prophecy that if you got the ball in your hands in an NCAA in a March Madness game and the clock's ticking down, well, you're supposed to. You've been watching it your whole life.
Shoot your shot.
Yeah, shoot it. It'll go in.
Yeah,
Everybody thinks it will go in. So what drives the popularity of March Madness are the office pools. You mentioned Autumn. So inevitably, there'll be a man or a woman in the office who hasn't watched one dribble of college basketball the whole year.
Right.
And you're better off picking out of a hat. Just pick the names out of a hat. You'll have a better
I used to be good at it, Skip. I used to be real good at picking it. I picked my friends, Sweet 16.
Yeah.
I get the Final Four, Lead 8.
Then what happened?
I don't know. I started studying it. I started trying to be like, normally I just get a bracket, Skip, and I just fill out the bracket and I'm good.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden I started 2 weeks out, I started looking at stuff. They played good, the strength of, ain't got it right since. Now my bracket is in the shredder.
Well, so most people's brackets are in the shredder. But there's somebody in an office this morning, there's a man or a woman who knows nothing, and they are leading the pool by far, and they're like the star of the day in their office.
But this is what we know will never happen. Nobody's ever going to have a perfect bracket. That's not going to happen. So Warren Buffett puts out $1 billion. Somebody offered their car. Say Zach Levine offered his car for someone. Skip, it's not going to happen. You're not getting a perfect bracket. It's too many scenarios that would allow that to happen. So, Warren, go and shoot your boy that bill. I can find something to do with it because you ain't going to give it away with that perfect bracket.
The only pool I ever won in my career was the year Melo was a freshman at Syracuse, and I just said, he's the best player in this tournament. They're going to ride him all the way home, and they did. So this year I thought DeAndre Ayton's the best player in the tournament, and they lose by whatever it was, 20 in the first round. Because they give up 15 of 33s.
I don't do pools.
Yeah?
No.
Huh.
Wait,
Swimming pools or nothing. I quit.
We're still going to fill one out every year. Just
We got to?
Yes.
I don't like losing.
Everyone does it.
Long, did I beat you?
You play the lottery.
Yeah, I got a chance to win.
Well, you have a chance to get
even,
it right.
even if I'm not gonna win anything. Okay, I got bragging rights over Skip. I should beat Skip. I know more basketball than Skip, so that's nothing new. I do.
Didn't you guys both fill out a bracket?
We did. I think mine's better than his. I know I didn't have Arizona to win. I did have Carolina though. So. When I got one more point to him, Carolina did win a game.
Is there any team in the West that can beat the Warriors? We'll discuss that with Chris Broussard next.
And I won't back down.